Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So of course on May 8th, Billy Joe Saunders will take on Canelo in a super middleweight unification fight at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Now, going into this fight, a lot of people, including myself, are very skeptical on Billy Joe Saunders and his chances of winning this fight. Not only that, but his actual dedication to the sport and whether he's actually turning up to win or just for a payday. You know, this is due to Billy Joe's track record in his career, certain things he said in the build-up, etc, etc. But he conducted an interview with IFL TV, which was uploaded today, and he was talking about this Canelo fight. And in this interview on IFL TV with Umar, he was much more serious than we've previously seen in his previous interviews leading up to this fight. In this interview, he mentioned that he's been training for a few months now and that he's in good shape. And looking at the pictures on social media that got released, Billy Joe certainly does look in good shape, which is a great thing. He mentioned his previous comments that he was just playing mind games and he's turning up to win. You know, that's what Billy Joe Saunders basically said in this interview, which of course is encouraging. Whether that's actually the case or not, we will see. But the interesting thing from this interview was that Billy Joe Saunders really had his back up, to be honest. He mentioned that he was unhappy with his promoter Eddie Hearn. He kind of insinuated that Eddie Hearn was being disrespectful by talking about Canelo versus Caleb Plant later this year. You know, given the fact that he promotes both fighters right now, he promotes Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo Alvarez, so he certainly got a point on that. But the interesting thing that he mentioned was that when the fight was being negotiated, Billy Joe Saunders basically signed for this fight under the proviso that there would be at least one British official. So he said, in his words, that Eddie Hearn told him that essentially that there would be one British judge, one Mexican judge and one American judge. However, according to Billy Joe's latest interview, that is no longer the case. According to Billy Joe, the Athletic Commission in Texas have rejected that, and that there will be certainly no British judges in this fight. And that got Billy Joe's back up, and according to him, he's looking for answers which he's not had yet. And yeah, the interview was a much more serious interview by Billy Joe Saunders. He certainly seemed frustrated in regards to certain aspects of this fight, and he mentioned the judging, he mentioned corruption in boxing, and essentially he knows the score when it comes down to this fight. And it seems like that has, well, according to this latest interview, that seems to have motivated him. A much more serious Billy Joe Saunders than we've seen in recent weeks. Like I said, in tandem with that, the pictures we've seen of Billy Joe Saunders, he actually looks in really good shape. He looks like he's been training hard, and I just hope that Billy Joe Saunders is being sincere and he actually comes to fight and gives it a real go. Stylistically, I do believe Billy Joe can actually give Canelo some problems. I don't think he'll win this fight, but at his very best, I certainly think he'll give Canelo problems, at least in the early rounds. I just want to see him make a fight of it. I've never been convinced by Billy Joe's mindset when it comes to boxing, his dedication to the sport, you know, due to his previous track record. So I am very skeptical when it comes down to Billy Joe Saunders going into this fight. But yeah, like I say, I'm just hoping he truly is taking this seriously and he's not just going there for a paycheck. Maybe now his back's up, that'll actually motivate him to make a fight of this. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, him saying about Eddie Hearn telling him that there would be at least one British judge, and that's no longer the case, that really doesn't surprise me. Eddie Hearn knows where his bread is buttered when it comes to these two fighters. He knows Canelo is the money man. Right now, Eddie's got a great relationship with Canelo, so he's going to do everything to keep that relationship ongoing, even if it means throwing another one of his fighters under the bus. And that's what I suspect has happened. I think Eddie Hearn more than likely knew all along that there was no chance of a British official being at the actual fight judging. I think Eddie more than likely knew that. Ultimately, he just wants to appease and keep happy his new cash cow in Canelo Alvarez. He wants to extend that relationship for as long as possible. Right now, Canelo is very happy with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie wants to keep that going. You know, Canelo's a big money draw, so You know, he's more than likely willing to throw Billy Joe Saunders under the bus, even though he's his own fighter. It is what it is, man. Billy Joe Saunders, you know, he knows what the jig is here. He knows what the score is. He knows that his own promoter is against him. He knows that the judges are against him. The referee, more than likely, are against him. The commissioner are against him. So, hopefully that's got his back up, and hopefully that makes him fight a good fight. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, ultimately, if what Billy Joe Saunders is saying is true, and Eddie Hearn knew that beforehand, then that's a scummy move by Eddie Hearn, point blank period. And yeah, from the impression that I got from Billy Joe Saunders, he seemed very unhappy with Eddie Hearn. You know, he didn't say too much, but he said enough, and his body language, his reactions, his posture, etc., kind of really spoke 1,000 words, to be honest. So yeah, Billy Joe Saunders has his back up. Apparently he's been training hard, he looks in good shape. Hopefully he comes to fight, man. Hopefully he comes to fight. Hopefully he's got a gas tank for 12 rounds where he can keep moving, you know, keep his game plan up. And who knows, maybe he gives Canelo a real hard fight. If Billy Joe can box for 12 rounds, stick and move, make Canelo chase the fight, I think he'll do actually better than people expect. I don't think he'll win. But like I said, it's not about that. All I want to see is Billy Joe Saunders in there at 100%, and what happens, happens. Because certain fights previously with Canelo, Avni Yildirim was a write-off. Callum Smith didn't try. The Danny Jacobs fight was lackluster. I want to see someone go in there and not instantly respect Canelo, you know, bow down to him and let him have his own way. I want to see Billy Joe try and tear up the script and do his own thing. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I have to be honest. The more we get closer to this fight, the more I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm going fucking crazy. But we'll see what happens. Share your thoughts below anyway. It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.